Cincinnati, we gon' rise and in the jungle we unite and trippin' orange and black and white. All day when we fight, live and die in these stripes. Now who gotta move rockin' on? Now who wanna move crossing on? Now who wanna move out on? If you got stripes, then you let the city know you rock 'em. Yeah, we got 'em. Yeah, we fought 'em. Like that black and orange up on 'em. Single bottle, never stop it. To the beast of Easton on 'em. Who they rockin' with the diamond stripes? Flossin' on the ring. Cincinnati, she's our queen. We gon' show the world who king. Orange in the day, black in the night. Stripes in our veins, sparks gonna fly. The beast is awake, orange, black and white. Cause when the jungle come alive, who day we ignite and
What's up?
Welcome to Bengals and Brews. I am Del Altman, joined by Pork Chop, joined by BSG on a Victory Monday. We had a Victory Sunday and a Victory Monday because we won on Saturday.
You say Victory Monday?
Chop.
513.
Yeah.
The 3.
It's in the bottom corner.
But yeah, who day to everybody in the chat. Who day to you guys. You know, always who day, always who day.
Who day forever.
Yeah,
God
we're
damn
still
it.
alive.
It's
Still
true.
alive in the playoff race.
It's our destiny
Still-
year.
Still doesn't look great. Not going to lie. Doesn't look great.
Dale. Destiny year.
But you have to win. I'm glad we're playing Saturday. I don't know about you guys.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Saturday, primetime game. You
Yeah.
play before the other teams. So, and I think it was Lou came out and said today, like he would also rather play on Saturday because if you don't go out and handle your business and get a win, doesn't matter. Sunday doesn't, it's irrelevant.
Exactly.
So I am glad that we get to watch that game Saturday night against a division rival in the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh, knowing what we need to do. We need to win with our playoff lives on the line again, just like they were this week. So I'm excited to see, you know, what we can do as a team. I'm excited to watch Joe Burrow another game. I'm excited to watch Joe Burrow with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins another game, and Andre Yosavash, who's got a touchdown taken back on some bullshit, Greg. I got a shirtless Greg taken away from me on a penalty.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, I saw the penalty right before he got the touchdown. I'm like, nope, not happening. People were asking, did Greg already have his shirt off? I'm like, I saw the penalty. I'm like, it's coming back. But, hey, we won the game. That's all I care about.
Yes.
It's all Greg cares about.
It didn't look good, man. I was getting nervous because I predicted 27-24 Broncos, and damn, I thought I was going to be right. I'm like, they're going to tie this, make it 24-24, win on a field goal in overtime. Speaking of field goals in overtime, Cade York, LSU guy, Chop.
I know.
Doink.
Go Tigers. I didn't trust his ass when they sent him out there. Look, they should have got a penalty. That dude's good at 59, man. But don't put him up there in the 40s or 30s.
No.
Yeah, that was like a 33-yarder, man. Chip shot.
I had a bad feeling. I'm like, something's not right here. I'm like, just, you know, I know you don't risk a fumble, but I'm like, man, just score the damn touchdown. They learned that the second time.
Yes.
Well, Shane Graham put the jinx in.
Yes, that's
Shane
fine.
Graham put the jinx in on the kicking for the day, man. When he did his little skit for people that weren't there, Shane Graham's been promoting this thing about training somebody because at halftime they'll pick somebody, one of the fans, to kick a field goal. And if they can kick a 30-yard field goal, they win pizza for the entire stadium, which, by the way, some random kid, some
Made it
random
last week,
teenager last week happened to actually do it and won everybody free pizza. So, but this last game was the one where Shane came down there and did his thing, and there was 5 people, and the last one did this thing like his leg hurt. Like, oh, Shane's going to have to come in. Shane pulls his shoes off, 2 bare feet, does about 20 warm-ups, kicking right next to the football, and then fucking shanks it left. And they're like, well, Shane gets another chance. And then the next one didn't get 5 foot off the fucking ground.
I was going to say, okay, I didn't know there was 2 of them. I seen the one, and man, that thing was not even
The
close.
second
there
one
was
didn't
2 of
get
them.
5 foot off the
There was
goddamn
2 of
ground.
them.
And I was like, well, fuck, man. And I mean, come on, man. Shane Graham misses 2 in a row, barefoot, which I never seen him kick barefoot before. I don't know. But and then Cade York comes out. He fucking like, I can't let Shane Graham look bad. So he fucking misses one.
I think it was Sedustry says no, he was aiming for the goalpost, so he actually hit his target.
There you go. See, he's good. He's our guy.
Yeah, and it's this for me, man. More than anything, I didn't have a problem that you kick it on third down, but we were literally playing at that point for a field goal again, and it's like, bro, we've done that. I don't care 55 yards, 50 yards, 40 yards, 30 yards, 5 yards. If you're at the 5-yard line, I don't care. I want the ball in Burrow's hands as much as possible, and I want to let him win it, So I would have just kept going for the touchdown. Hell with the field goals, man, especially a season like this where kicks have cost us, and a lot of them's been McPherson, not Cade York. But Cade York said, let me get my turn too.
That's right.
And it didn't cost us, though, because the defense did enough. I will say, man, Troy Franklin was damn wide open, and Bo Nix missed that throw.
Oh, God.
It was over, honestly, man.
Yeah, no, that would have been over pretty much. I thought it was over after we missed the field goal. I'm like, there's not going to be enough time.
They could have just tied, right?
No, let me ask you this, because a lot of people were asking the stands. Would a tie benefit the Broncos or the Bengals? I'm just
Broncos tie put them in.
Okay, tie would have put them in. Okay, I was confused on that, but no, that was a hell of a game, man. I mean, one of the best games. So energetic at that stadium. Oh my!
One of the best things about playing the Broncos is that you can't tell that all their fans are there because they're all wearing the same fucking exact color orange that we do.
Yeah, they were.
I'll tell you what, though, man, there was a lot.
I could hear the Bengals
Greg.
fans. I will say this: I could hear the Bengals fans through the TV.
I could hear
that sounded like a great environment.
I could hear their fans because I sit on the home side, so they're all yelling directly at me because a lot of them are on that visitor side, and I could hear. Like when the offense is out there, I could hear all this yelling. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? Everybody needs to be quiet. And then I paid more attention. And it's across the stadium in the visitor side. I could see them all fucking going crazy. It's all these Broncos fans.
Well, no, Chap, did you know when they missed the field goal, when the Bengals missed the field goal, I thought we won because I'm just looking at I like to look at the fans' reaction. I'm like, oh, we won. I'm like, wait a minute.
It's Broncos fans.
It's Broncos fans.
There was a lot of them there, but like I said, man, it was hard to see them. Because they're all wearing that orange.
Right, exactly. And I saw the Broncos players doing this. I'm like, oh, you've got to be shitting me. Yeah.
Right.
I'm still not 100% sure if that was a full catch by T on the sideline. I think it was close enough you couldn't overturn it. It's like, when did he have possession when that right foot toe was still maybe barely down?
Yeah, no, Dale, I saw that. I'm like,
Hey,
I don't think they could overturn it after they didn't overturn the one in regulation on that 4th down Hail Mary pass, basically, that Mims caught for them, because we were knocking that ball loose, and he did kind of trap it on his leg, but he's also sliding out of bounds. So it's like, with that ball moving, is he out of bounds? I'm like, but it was one of those things. I don't think they could overturn that one. So I think they kind of went with the T-Wood and just said, all right, we're not going to overturn this one either. And that was huge because it would have been 3rd down. So
I got to tell you, I rewatched that one 513 times, and it's a catch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Catch 100%.
And see, that's what I'm saying, Travis. The Mims one, I still ain't sure that's a catch, because the way whoever that was got their hand in there, Newton somebody, and was pulling on that ball and knocking it loose the whole time, so it was moving a lot. Tyler asked something up there a little earlier.
What was it?
I don't know. I had to scroll back up. I think about a lot of chatter about Zach's time management within 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. For me personally, and I know it would have given Denver even more time, but I was wanting the touchdown anyways, because just what I said about kicking, I was like, I don't care. I wouldn't have had Chase Brown go down.
Right.
And then the injury forced another timeout. You could have taken the knees because that's what you were setting up. You still could have ran more time off. The Bengals could have.
Uh-huh. Well,
but I wanted the touchdown. I'm happy with the touchdown.
It was over 3 minutes at that time, so there was going to be time left. How are we going to run that bitch all the way down anyway? There's over 3 minutes.
A little over 2.
But that injury timeout, that gave them an extra 40 seconds. That made a big difference right there.
Was it really only 2 minutes? I could have sworn when I was sitting there, it was like 3 minutes.
They were down to one timeout. Yeah. So even with the injury, we just picked up a 1st down. We could have ran that thing down to pretty much like 30 seconds or
No,
so,
I-
probably, and kicked.
He's at the point he ain't ever trying to field goal again. This
That's
year.
where I'm at, man. I'm
Right.
just like,
Unless
it's-
touchdown.
Unless it's over 50 yards.
Yeah.
And guess what? Yeah, we gave up the touchdown for them to tie it. I still wouldn't have changed that because, maybe we kick a field goal with 20 seconds on the clock. And maybe they still get some crazy ass play. Denver's beat us on a crazy play before. Who was that?
Yes.
Brandon Stokely back in the day?
Oh, thanks a lot, Dale. I was at that.
Yeah.
one.
Well, that shit was in my head, though. I was thinking,
No,
oh,
no,
shit,
I
what's
know. I
gonna
hear
happen
you.
now?
But when Bo Nix threw that pass, I'm like, okay, he got rushed. There's no way this dude's catching this pass. Two guys around him. I'm like, oh, you've got to be shitting me. Yeah. That was.
Yeah, it was a hell of a catch. Yeah, great catch.
Taylor and that came on the show. This is Taylor came on the show, right? After the
Yeah,
game.
for sure.
Says Dan Pitcher and Burrow actually made that play call to win the game because Zach ran it out of the red zone. Congrats on being full-time play caller. Pitcher, peace out, Zach. He did have some Taylor's very emotional. If you didn't catch our after game show, go back and check it out.
Yeah.
I'm not piecing out on Zach yet. I'm not there. I'm piecing out on Lou. What would make me happy this offseason is minus Lou, add T. Minus Lou for happy, add T for bonus.
They're going to have to really ball out. I feel like they almost still have to get in the playoffs, though, because I just think you can't have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and the performances they've had and still be like, well, we can just run this back,
Right.
coaching staff-wise even.
Yeah.
And listen, man, it's tough because the defense has played better and some of the young guys has shown flashes. But guess what? We wouldn't have been here had he played them sooner. So I get the people that want to defend Lou. I get it. There's part of me. I get it. You want continuity back, but continuity is not good if it just means
It's conditional.
missed the
Get rid of Lou
playoffs.
conditional. Like, who can replace him? Like you were talking about, Dale, on our after game show. To get rid of Lou is conditional.
Yeah, it's got to be. I want Robert Saleh so bad as the defense coordinator, but if it's not him, then it's got to be Dennis Allen. And if it's not one of those two guys, then I probably would keep Lou just because I don't know that anybody else you bring in here is going to make that much of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I agree.
That's the tough part, right? I guess maybe the guy that got fired from the Colts too. He was a really good defense coordinator, their head coach that got fired. Blanking on his name all of a sudden, but
What about
Eberflus? Matt
Eberflus?
Eberflus. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Eberflus. Yeah, he's the other one that was really good defense coordinator before this. So for me, maybe one of those three guys I think would be an improvement. But other than that, what are you drinking there, Derek?
Keystone.
Delicious Keystone latte.
Don't get that bitter beer face.
Bengals and
Well, I'm
Brews brought to you by Pepsi Zero.
Hey, I'm having a beer, a root beer.
I'm
There
having
you
a beer
go.
too.
I'm doing the whole dry January thing, so I'm trying to kill as much beer as possible. And when you
There
do
you
that,
go.
Man, what fucking time
have to
zone
go
do you
deep.
live in? Because over here in Delhi, it's December still.
No, that's
why
what
I'm
he's
drinking.
saying.
Yeah, I'm doing dry
He's getting-
January, so I'm drinking as
Much as
mass
it can before
amounts
January
of beer.
starts.
Mass
Isn't
amounts.
that like
when you're
normal?
drinking mass amounts of beer, you have to go cheap. So that's why the Keystone lattes.
Don't you normally drink mass amounts of beer?
I don't
Yes and no.
actually.
Yeah. I was gonna
Oh.
say, yeah.
Bourbon.
But he's trying
I
to get
drink-
like a month. He's trying to get like a month's worth of alcohol in the next couple days.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Man,
we
you
went
probably
over to my
wish the
sister's.
Buckeyes. You probably wish the Buckeyes played tomorrow then instead of Wednesday because that'll be the first
I
day
know-
of your dry January.
I'm telling you, if that
January starts on
game,
the 2nd.
if that game goes the way I think it's going to go, I'm going to be stressed the fuck out. I mean, there's no way I can handle the Buckeyes defense against Oregon with no alcohol.
You guys are going to get fucked by a duck.
And
Maybe.
mainly Igbinosun. That's the one that I'm worried about.
I was
And
gonna
our
say that-
pass
I was
rush.
gonna say Burke, man. Burke's the one that got toasted against them the first time, but he's looked better. I don't know. We'll see. Should be a good matchup. I'm excited for it. But back to the Bengals. Yeah, you guys want to give some game balls, Pell L
Yeah. Because I'm
Pale ale. That's hilarious.
because he's a cracker.
Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
give game balls. I'm going Joe Burrow. the most
Why?
unrecognizable.
Why
I
would
mean,
you give him one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Guy
He
sucks.
just, I mean, the guy.
Defense
what-
has been carrying his ass.
Yeah, I know, right? What is there to not say about Joe Burrow? I mean, he's on pace to break every freaking record imaginable.
Is there
The
such thing
offense-
as a triple crown for a quarterback?
Uh,
Somebody was telling me Joe Burrow's going to get triple crown. I said, how the fuck is Joe Burrow going to get the triple
completion
crown?
percentage, maybe. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
But the Bengals are on pace right now to break a NFL record for most points per game in the history of the NFL. I think there was only one team, and I can't remember the team, but there was one team to do it. But all they have to score is 24 points against the Steelers
Portsmouth
to be-
Spartans.
to be the highest scoring team in NFL history on points per game. It's just crazy what they're doing.
Yeah, and Dustin says prediction for 2025: Stone gone, CTB benched. Man, I don't know. CTB's looked pretty good lately. I can't hate on him,
Right. And Geno Stone, to be honest, though, had those
especially as I wear my Juice King hat.
interceptions the 3 prior
for my
games. He's
contract.
probably doing enough to save his job.
He had a rough
Geno
game
St-
yesterday. But
Yeah, Geno Stone's PFF grade was 28.8.
ooh,
That's
It's
pretty
almost
good.
like
That's pretty
He
good.
is who
going
we
against
thought. He is who we
decent
thought he was.
That's what happens. You go up against a good quarterback.
Geno
Yeah.
got stoned.
Stone
Yeah.
feet is what I said. Stone
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah.
Because he was, man, that was all on him on that deep ball too.
Yeah. I still don't know how he freaking caught that pass. That was crazy. With Mike Hilton ripping at the ball and him pulling back on him.
Oh,
Yeah, on the second one, I was talking about the
Oh,
deep ball.
okay,
before
yeah.
that, the one because they were both to Mims, but
Yeah.
the deep ball that Stone just kind of he was like eyes in the backfield, and that guy's just running, and he's too damn slow to be doing that
Mhm.
and not playing back like he was supposed to be.
speaking of not realizing how he caught, I'm going to go my game ball. T. Higgins, 12 targets, 11 receptions, 131 yards, 3 touchdowns. There was one pass that was thrown near 2 Broncos defenders where Joe threw it. I don't know how the hell he got it to T, but T, man, with one thing I love about T the most is where he makes the catch like this, trying to keep his legs in bounds, and he just does so good at it, keeping his balance, keeping the ball in his hands. I mean, T, man, please come back, T.
Baby, come back.
Baby, come back.
Yeah,
Please come back.
CTB's score was bad, and I don't remember him getting beat a lot. I need to rewatch the game back specifically for CTB. I will say his PFF score was a 49. It was down a little bit, and I think maybe the tackling grade wasn't great. Coverage grade was still mediocre. I don't have that in front of me, but I remember seeing it and it still being, I feel like in the, like 59 or something.
Yeah.
But just say still on the offense. So Chop, they kind of took they took Joe Burrow and they took T. Higgins.
Oh, they can fuck off. I'm taking Orlando Brown. Zeus, my dude, came back, solidified up that left side, and thank fucking God since
Broken
Mims went
leg.
back out
Broken
with
leg.
a broken leg. The dude's in there playing with a broken leg.
Yeah.
He's got his
Fractured- it's
tibia
a fractured
fused to his
tibia.
or some shit like that.
Yeah. Or
His
fibia.
pass
Maybe
block
that's
grade
what it
was like an 88.
Yeah.
Like it's the best
With a
it's
fucking
been
broken
on a
leg.
one
So,
play.
and also, I don't know
real.
what the scuffle was about, but Orlando Brown was right in there, man. Whatever was going on between Joe Burrow and the other team, OBJ was right in there, man.
Yeah, they showed passion and got, he was right in the mix, and they were like, "No, we ain't having this shit no more," which good.
Yep. So that's I don't know. That ain't the low hanging fruit, man. That's digging in a little deep there. Come on,
Well,
Dale.
I got one too that's digging in a little deep.
Cleo Herbert, huh?
No, but
Oh,
he could get one too. He stepped up there when Brown
Sure
got
did.
injured. I'll give 2 honorable mentions that I'm sure we all could agree on. Jamar Chase just being Jamar Chase. When the man goes out there and has like, what do you have? 9 catches, 100 yards, and it's just like it's just another day. It's just another day at the office.
That was a down
when he
day
does
for
that.
him.
Yeah. And the other honorable mention would be Mike Gesicki, who had what, 10, 11
10
catches?
catches,
and some of those
90
catches,
or
man, were
80
just
something yards.
were tough ass catches,
Mhm.
he had a drop, but they went right back to him on the next play, and he had another big catch, and he continued to have big catches throughout that game. And man, it was nice to see, because a lot of times Mike doesn't have those games with T in there. So it was nice to see T, Jamar, and Gesicki, who is basically your option 3 in the receiving game, Because I'd say
Yeah.
I would run that offensive weaponry back next year. I would sign T at this
100%.
point and him, even though I
Taylor
get the T.
Swift
If
would
they
have seen
don't, I get it.
Gesicki yesterday or 2 days ago, man. She would have left Travis's ass. She likes them tight ends. We got 1-4.
Yeah, and that's I mean, somebody in the chat was talking earlier about Yoshi being the wide receiver 3 on this system, and
He's option
that
5 or
is
6.
100% okay when you've got a guy like Mike Gesicki, you've got a guy like Chase Brown, you've got other options.
Mhm.
I mean, that offense is elite.
Yeah,
Boom.
and one reason that they were able to throw the ball to those guys and was able to at least Joe hold up somewhat. We know the guards are still a huge problem, but a guy that had to come in for Mims when he was injured is who I'm giving my game ball to, and that's Devin Cochran.
Yeah.
So Cochran ended up having to play 67% of the snaps at right tackle after playing left tackle for Brown recently.
Yeah.
And Devin Cochran, man, can't say enough. I think his PFF grade was almost a 70. Like
Mhm.
the pass block grade was a little less. The run block grade was good. We don't run the ball too much, but either way, he held up well enough that he wasn't some huge liability. And that's a very fast, aggressive, blitzing Denver defense with some good edge players in Cooper and Benito. So I got to give my game ball to Devin Cochran.
Yeah.
Absolutely great performance by a guy who I think was cut earlier this season and brought back. So he's been brought back, practice squad, full-time roster elevation now.
Been through the ringer for sure.
Yeah, and just has done nothing but went out there and at least battled his ass off. Like his first start at left tackle, struggled with those penalties early in the game, but bounced back and made some huge key blocks in those games. So a guy like Devin Cochran that has stuck around, bounced back, and stepped up when he's had to, being like option 5, 6 as an offensive tackle to start the season. Because you got to think Cody Ford was in that mix, you know. There's Brown, there's Mims, there's both Trent Brown that got injured. So just a bunch of guys. And then you end up with Devin Cochran, who's stepping up in a must-win game against a good Denver defense. Devin Cochran, you get a game ball.
What kind of run? Run?
At Big Cock Daddy on
Yeah.
Twitter. If not, it should be.
Right.
I'll throw one more honorable mention, man. 4 targets, 3 receptions, 59 yards, averaged 19.7 yards. My man Yoshi for a 4th target.
And would have had the touchdown.
One of
the best plays.
For our 4th guy who's our 4th target, who's got 500 yards receiving over the years. You name me a better 4th target right now in the NFL.
Yeah, one of the best plays by Burrow, but unfortunately did not count.
Did not.
I mean, that was crazy.
Fucking, I'm giving another honorable mention too. Ted Karras.
Yep.
There you go.
Ted Karras did a good job,
Pro
man.
Bowl level Ted Karras. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't
elite,
get spoken
elite
enough.
pass blocking this year. And that's somebody was asking about, T-Brookie here, about interior offensive line. Seems like a lot of pressure up the Kappa Karras side. I think Ford gave up some. Ford was starting over Volson. We've seen Volson give up a lot of pressures. Kappa's a huge weakness. Ted, Ted's going to have some issues, but man, when you're playing with 2 really bad guards, what Ted has done is honestly a fucking minor miracle with how bad the guard play has been all season long.
What's more dire for you? Interior guard, or I guess guard is interior, but guard or defensive interior for you?
Yeah, it's just pass rush. We need more pass rush, and I think you have to draft those guys higher. But they both are, right? They're both problems, and we really need 2 guards, in my opinion, 2 starting caliber guards on this roster. And you're still going to, probably want to bring back a Cody Ford for depth, but I don't think you pencil him in as a starter. But you always have injuries, and you got a guy you can rely on. Matt Lee, I think, needs to be an option, especially next year, to get snaps at guard if needed.
Yeah, he had another high PFF grade, right?
Probably, but he only gets X amount of snaps as like the extra blocker, so it's hard to judge that. But I do think that he could be a guy that could give you some guard depth, but I'm not relying on Matt Lee as my starter next year either when he's primarily been a center. So I think you need to go out in free agency, pick up a guard, and then you probably still need to draft one in the 3rd or 4th round. But defensive pressure-wise, I think you got to get those guys 1st, 2nd round type players. And, interior defensive line, we badly need it, right? We don't have anybody in the top 50 per PFF that as a pass rusher. That's a problem. That's a huge problem when you don't have anyone on your roster graded in the top 50. And BJ Hill is the closest one, and he's a free agent. So whether I would bring him back, but I still think you need more beyond that. McKinley Jackson's flashed. Chris Jenkins had a down game, but 2 sacks the week before. You got some good 3rd and 4th D tackles. You need a number 1, especially as a pass rusher. But I also think you need another edge rusher in there too. So I would say pass rush is priority 1 for me.
Yes.
But I mean,
You're splitting
1A,
hairs.
1B, because you need to improve that guard play, because that is where that generates so much pressure on Joe Burrow. And the offense and Joe Burrow's greatness has masked a lot of just how bad it is.
Mm-hmm.
But it's awful, and it cost you in the biggest moments. And that's what cost us the Super Bowl before. And I would hate to see that happen again in the future. So solidify the guard play is just as important as pass rush. They're clear top needs for this team. Address them.
Yep. And what kind of interior pass rusher can you get, Dale, at spot 32?
Because we're getting in and winning the Super Bowl. No, right now we're at pick 16. I'm a Walter Nolan guy from Ole Miss. I know some people aren't as high on him. He's an elite run defender, but he's got a lot of pass rush juice. Kenneth Grant, he enters the conversation more, and he's another guy. Pass rush flashes, dominant run defender, kid out of Michigan that plays beside Mason Graham. But dude's like 6'3", 340. He's a fucking tank, man, and he moves very well at that size, and he can give you more pass rush. So those would be 2 guys. Then Derek Harmon from Oregon, which we'll get a firsthand look at him as Buckeyes fans. Derek, again, he's a guy who ripped that ball out of Quinshon Judkins' hands the first game. He's been very good. His pressure rates are like 20-some% in true pass sets. So just an absolute freaking animals, Derek Harmon. But I think it's somebody more in that mix, anywhere from 16 to 32 that we're picking. Derek is Kenneth Grant, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon would be the 3 guys that Bengals fans should keep in mind for D tackle as first-round guys. I like a guy like Aeneas Peebles out of Virginia Tech. He's a sneaky, low-key guy, undersized, but, man, pressure maniac.
Huh. Who's your Johnny Newton? Is it Mason Graham?
I don't think there is one. I don't think Mason Graham is that level of pass rushing ability, but he's very good pass rusher, don't get me wrong. But he's also another guy that's an elite run defender. Mason Graham, if you're talking my favorite defensive tackle in the class like Newton, it's Mason Graham. I do think they're very different players.
But if the 2 were in the same draft, you'd take Johnny Newton still.
No, I Mason Graham. He's just
Mason Graham. All right.
Just as an overall player. But what I loved about Newton was his pass rush.
Right.
Like, for us specifically, is I think why I was so high on him. All right.
Greg's camera on his new laptop is very high def.
Yeah, you can see.
It is really good.
You can see his beautiful face in high definition.
Wonder if I should turn my light on. Man. All
right, we'll move to the defensive side of the ball for some game balls. But before we do, I do want to update, since we did this the other day too, Chop, update the Triple Crown race for Jamar, since we were talking Triple Crown quarterback, this, that, and the other. This is off of Dan Hord's Twitter that I got this. So here's the current thing that Jamar's leading all things. 117 catches, leads by 9 over Brock Bowers. The tight ends do count.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
With one game left, right?
Well, Amon-Ra St. Brown plays tonight. So he's technically got 2, but he's at 101 catches. So he's 16 behind. But if he goes out there and has 12, 13 catches tonight, now all of a sudden he's right on the heels of Jamar. So something to keep an eye on is Amon-Ra St.
Thank
Brown
God he's got
tonight.
Goff instead of Cousins thrown to him, huh?
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
Who the hell would even pick Goff
I know, right?
or Cousins?
Only an idiot would. Only a moron like me.
But yardage wise, he's 133 over Jefferson, and both of those guys have 1 game left. So he's at over 1,600 now. Jamar is 1,612 yards on the season. Jefferson, you never know, man. He could have a big game, but that's not a bad lead. And then 16 touchdowns leads by 4 over Terry McLaurin, still at 12. So he's still got a 4 touchdown lead. That one's looking pretty solid. I mean, honestly, if he just goes out there and does what he's doing now, even in these games where it's like 9 catches, 100 yards, and he don't get in the end zone like the last couple weeks, or he did last week on a late one, but he didn't this past game. So if he doesn't even get in the end zone, but he has 9 catches, 100 yards, he should have a good shot to win the Triple Crown. And we're just calling that a mediocre game for him anymore.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the
mediocre,
one thing that I wanted to look into and I didn't get a chance to is I don't know where the Vikings sit. I don't know if they got first overall locked up or not, but there's a chance that Justin Jefferson might not even play next week.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know their draft position either. They probably can't. Are that
Didn't they
the
trade away
are the
draft
Lions
pick again?
leading their division or the Vikings?
No, the Lions.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's
The
what. Like
Lions
they
are.
can't even
Okay,
win
yeah.
their division. So I don't know where they're at in their playoff seeding. And
Yeah, I think they
This-
have to win next week, and the Lions have to lose one of their next two, and then I think the Vikings might end up with it. I can't
Lions have to
remember
lose
what it
one
was.
of
so
their-
as
Oh,
of
they
right
play
now,
tonight.
they're still playing for a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah, sounds like. We'll move on to.
Oh, that's right. They play Detroit next week. I forgot about that.
There you go.
That'll be a hell of a game.
Well,
to
yeah,
watch.
then they're definitely going all out if they still got a
Mhm.
chance to win a division in that game. Moving on to the defensive side of the ball, game balls. Since Derek and Greg stole the two easy ones last time, I'll let you go first, Chop.
Boom. I'm going to take the easy one to my boy, Blood Drop, man. Jermaine Pratt for his interception.
And 90.1 overall PFF grade.
You know why?
Woo!
Because he's a fucking badass. Mark it down.
What a
Sometimes
He's
blood.
a little bit slower badass than he was last year,
Yeah.
but he's a badass, man. Don't fuck with that
Yep.
guy. Blood Drop. I don't know how you. Does that kind of look like it?
Kinda.
Yeah, there you go. Or it's the diamond cutter. But either way, Jermaine Pratt, you get my defensive game ball for your interception. Oh, and what I forget what Jeff calls them. T-bowls.
I don't know. I mean, defensively,
That
you-
one stood out too much, did they?
That's
Like,
that's
and
what I'm thinking.
That second
right now,
half
like,
was.
That's
kinda
why I
rough
took the
there.
one.
I guess you want to go ahead and take your guy, Dale?
34 if you need some more low-hanging fruit.
Oh no, Geno Stone does not get a game ball this week. Not
No,
with the
you're-
28
you're
You're
guy.
Dale, you're a
The guy
guy. I
you've
was
been
going to
high
say
on.
it.
Oh, Cedric Johnson for his first
Yeah.
career sack. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give it to him just
Yeah.
because there's not anybody standing out too much, and he still only got like 10, 15 snaps, 10 or 11, I think, honestly, the whole game.
Yeah.
So not a lot of snaps, but first career sack, and he's a guy that I just really like as a 6th-round pick. I think he's got a ton of upside. Would like to see more snaps for said, but yeah, I thought you guys were going to make me take Geno Stone like I have the last 3 weeks. Because it was
Yeah.
like mandatory, but no, when you get a
Right.
28 PFF grade, the run's over, Geno Stone. Now let's see what you can do this week. But if you have another week like this past one, buddy, time to hit that unemployment line because I'm cutting your
Mhm.
ass and saving the $8 million.
Hey, Tyler ain't wrong with this one, man. That jungle atmosphere. It was like a playoff game in there, man. I
was.
mean, basically it is, but like it was
They were-
loud.
They were talking about that on the cast or whatever they want to call it, whatever you want to call it, about how loud the
on
the
television.
stadium was. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what we call
Broadcast.
We
TV.
call it a TV,
We
Derek.
call that
Yeah.
a television or a TV.
I was trying to think of the word broadcast.
Oh,
'cause
broadcast,
Some people
yeah.
might call it a picture box, a moving picture box.
Yes.
Wait, I'll give my game ball to Joseph Osai. 8 tackles, 5 solo, half a sack. Now led the game in tackles. Nothing to really write a book about, but why not?
Yeah, I mean, 4th highest PFF grade, and like I said, Cedric was the 3rd highest PFF grade, but like I said, that's only on 10 snaps. Osai played a shitload of snaps. I got the snap count, I think, on here somewhere too. Let's see Osai had 83% of the snaps.
Ooh.
So Osai had 83% of the snaps to grade out 73.8 on per PFF to go along with the stats you just mentioned and the tackles. And man, he was flying around out there,
Mhm.
and he was. And Nix likes to move a lot, and he was chasing his ass around and at least, not giving him free lanes all the time and free roam out there to make plays. So I think that's a good one.
Yeah, there was. I'm trying to remember who it was. It might have been Miles Murphy. Now that I'm thinking about it, but there was one play that Bo Nix snuck out and then was running for the sideline, and then one of the defensive linemen, chased him down. I think it might have been Miles Murphy. Now that I'm thinking about it, but that was just an elite play by another guy. But I'm going to give mine to Mike Hilton, just because, I mean, The guy
Yeah, oh,
continues to
yeah.
do it. Just he's in the backfield all the damn time, and
Uncle Mikey.
He's got more pride. I tweeted
Yeah.
out during the
Oh,
game
yeah.
than our coaches and our ownership
Mhm.
because he's out there knowing everything's on the
Oh,
line,
was that Trey? Thank
playing
you.
his best football.
Thank you, Tyler. I couldn't remember who it was, but somebody just freaking hauled ass to get after Bo Nix on that play.
Yeah. Dustin here with another super chat says, "What is our concern level with Miles Murphy now?" It's starting to rise for me because I said I wanted to see him more. 40% of the snaps is quite a bit. So with Sam out, he has had an increased role from the 20% he was getting. So you're getting almost half the snaps. I need you to flash more, at least, right? He's flashed here and there in the past, but these last couple weeks with it more extended playing time, I expected to see more. I haven't seen it. So my concern level is growing, but I do know he's still young. He still hasn't played a ton of snaps. But he's got to start showing us something, right? If not, how the hell could you potentially lose Trey next year, Osai next year, and just say, well, Murphy, now you're playing 80, 90% of the snaps next year and feel good about that?
Yeah.
How could you now?
I will say
how
this.
could you?
I will say this. I do think Miles looks a lot better from the right defensive end spot. He's not going to get a lot of snaps because 100% of those go to Trey Hendrickson. But, yeah, he's definitely got a lot to prove for sure.
Yeah, I wish I'd seen more right now. And like Trey played 82% of the snaps still.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, which is a high workload, honestly. You would rather have Trey playing 60, 65, with Sam injured and we're just not – that's why I would like to see a little more Cedric Johnson still. Like I said, he only played 18%, 11 snaps is what it ended up being. I thought it was 10 or 11. It was 11. They need another guy to get more snaps. And I think it's going to have to be Cedric Johnson. But I got to give Osai his credit. And, say on the opposite end, Osai, now that he's had more snaps with Hubbard out, has excelled, has looked better. I can't say the same about Murphy right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I just can't. One guy has clearly been way better than the other one in their opportunities. Yes, he's getting more opportunities, but he's looked better. He's done more. And
I agree with
Osai.
Taylor when he says keep blitzing Mike Hilton, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yes, keep blitzing Mike Hilton. And you know who else has been a good blitzer is Jordan Battle, hasn't he?
Yeah. And that's one thing I was about to mention. I think it was Jordan Battle that there was a defensive line or there was a blitz that came and they ended up running the ball. But man, you just think if Bo Nix would have kept that ball, whoever it was, I'm pretty sure it was Jordan Battle, was right there to absolutely blow him up.
But an honorable mention, I don't think we mentioned this guy, did we? McKinley Jackson.
No, I thought
defensive game ball. Yeah. So he played 20 snaps. That's 33%.
Yeah.
It's not bad. You'll take getting almost 35% of the snaps is a decent sample size. He was the second highest graded defensive player per PFF behind Pratt with a 79.6. So it's nice to see him flash. And a lot of his flashing is it feels like just effort. Yeah, sometimes he'll completely go off the line. And I felt like he had a down year at A&M last year. The year before, he was much more impressive for A&M, and I feel like he's playing at that level now. I kind of mentioned that to Dustin Croft on Twitter earlier. So shout out McKinley Jackson because being D-tackle 3 or 4, like him and Chris Jenkins, to me, that you'll take that all day long for rotational guys. I think they're going to be good, solid players here.
So McKinley Jackson, is he someone you're like, hey, I can rely on him next year? What do you view McKinley Jackson as going forward?
A 3 and a 4. Him and Chris Jenkins both to me.
Okay, so he's like a rotational.
Maybe one of them becomes a number 2. But
okay, so he's a rotational guy, which is not bad. But
no, you need NFL on defense. You need a huge rotation, especially at defensive tackle. And I think they're pieces. But I don't think we've got like a number 1 D tackle yet.
We don't have that Geno Atkins yet. No,
not even him. There's so many better defensive tackles in the NFL than anything that we are close to right now. And that's not a knock on BJ Hill. He's very good. BJ Hill would be a great number 2 defensive tackle.
Yeah,
we're missing a D tackle 1. Period.
Larry Ogunjobi. Gosh, I wish we still had him.
Nah, he wouldn't be that either.
You know who has the highest career completion percentage of all time?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
I just took a guess. Boy, I got.
I was going to say Muhammad Sanu.
Bengals and Bruce. Yeah, Muhammad Sanu, actually. Yeah.
Muhammad
what was
Sanu,
your-
That's true.
Minimum 500 snaps.
I was
okay?
going to say, there's got to be a minimum on that.
I thought it was going to be Sanu because Sanu, I don't think that didn't have not one incompletion when he threw for the Bengals.
With a minimum of 4 passes thrown.
Right.
Muhammad Sanu is in there. Because I'm sure there's some guys that are like 1 for 1 in their career.
I
too.
thought it
Joe
was a
Mixon
trend.
also threw a touchdown pass, didn't he?
Yep. He's
In
1
Super
for 1.
Bowl.
Yeah. I don't know if he's ever thrown another one or not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But he could go on the same as Muhammad Sanu list, I guess.
Can we talk about this real quick?
No. Move
What will it take for Burrow to win MVP
on.
This year?
this year?
It's not going to happen. They're not
Yeah,
going to do it.
I don't think it's going to happen, but at minimum, it starts with you have to get in the playoffs.
Well, first of all, you have to go out.
If you're not in the playoffs, and that's going to not just be on Joe Burrow and what he does Saturday, it's going to be on 2 other teams helping them out in Kansas City and also the fucking Jets. We got to rely on the Jets.
Jets, Jets.
You know what I'm
Jets.
saying? We put ourselves in that position.
God,
as a
did you see
team.
him play yesterday? They're horrid.
And it just so happens it's not a year where it's like, well, there's really nobody else, so Joe just gets it. There's Lamar playing great football, and there is Josh Allen playing great football with teams with way better records. So I think he's in the conversation. He's always should have been in the conversation.
Yeah.
I think he's in that top 3 of the MVP race conversation. He's in the top 3, but
He'll get some votes.
but you're probably not getting it because you're probably not getting in the playoffs. But to win it, it would start by find a way to be in the playoffs. And then it's like, damn, like Dan Orlovsky was talking about, he dragged his team to the playoffs at that point.
Yeah. And that's what kills me is like, who's the most valuable player in the NFL? Because Josh Allen, you could make a point for Josh Allen because I mean the guy has like nobody he's throwing it to right now and just making play after play after play.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I mean, when you look at Lamar, is Lamar even the number 1 on his team? I mean, you can make the point that Derrick Henry is the reason why they are doing as well as they are.
Well, you could say that Derrick Henry is doing as well as he is because of the threat of Lamar.
Yes, of
So
course.
that's a 2-way street. And I
You're
get
right.
it.
You're right.
Let me just tell you this. Like,
That's why I'd probably give it to Josh Allen over Lamar, though.
I don't like
because you can
Shannon
make that
Sharp.
argument either way.
I don't like Shannon Sharp takes usually, but he made a good point when he was talking to Chad is that the committee's going to ask, what did this player do to help their team win? And the problem is, well, now we're even at 500, but the problem is
Everything to
with
be
our
500,
record,
Joe
you
did
know, when they
everything,
say,
though.
what did this player do to help their team win? It's the record. And that's what I've been saying. Like, they're not going to give it to Joe Burrow because of the record. It doesn't matter how good he was. It doesn't matter that they look at it and they know that it's totally like we're putting up fucking 30 points a game. It's not Joe Burrow.
Averaging
It's the lack of
28.3
defense.
points per game.
Yeah, well, look,
What's that?
Averaging 28.3 points per game. After the
Right.
first, 3 weeks where they couldn't even break 20?
Yeah. And then yesterday was 28? Right.
Yesterday was 30 because I was 1
30.
off because they didn't kick
30.
the extra point.
Well, they
I'm
don't
not
have
very
to,
happy
they
about
want
that,
it
by
to
the way.
walk off.
Yeah, but since we're still talking MVP still, does Saquon Barkley, do you think he'll get any shot at winning the MVP? I think you could make an argument with him. 2,000
I think
yards
he'll get
rushing.
some votes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a shot because of the elite play that's going on in the quarterback room right now. But I definitely think he'll get some points for sure.
Well, and then last night on the broadcast, they were talking about how they feel like that if it's a race between Allen and Jackson, they'll probably give it to Allen because Jackson has to. And they also, that kind of comes into the thought process. It's like, well, Lamar's got 2, so let's give this one to Josh Allen.
Maybe T. Higgins should be the most valuable player because we're 7-3 with T. Higgins, says Taylor.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe we should just pay him.
Yeah. Just
Right.
pay him. I think that's all he cares about right now.
That's all we care about. I mean,
I
I don't
know.
think you let a top 5 player leave. That's why I've been back and forth because making the money work is still going to be very, very difficult.
And Sindustries is right, man. Burrow should have been the MVP when we went to the Super Bowl, 100 fucking %. And that one was Aaron Rodgers. Didn't they give it to Aaron Rodgers, who got who got fucking the piss beat out of him by the 49ers in Green Bay.
Yeah.
First fucking round.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But and that
And
Burrow probably
Stefanski
should've won
got
the thing.
Coach of the Year that year, I believe.
No. Vrabel got Coach of the Year.
Vrabel did, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like,
Where's he at right now?
Yeah, they were the 1 seed,
Job hunting.
and then Joe Burrow went and beat him in the playoffs. But that
Just
award's given out before taking your team
Right.
to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. But yeah, I personally feel like, I mean, yeah, it's hard to take wins out of it because they always say wins are not a QB stat, but when you've got a guy who's 300 and some change away from 5,000 yards, 42 touchdowns, I just said the highest career completion percentage in the history of the NFL. I mean, he's just every single box this guy's checking right now. How do you not give it to him? But I get it.
Yeah,
No, it's tough. He's our MVP. We know that.
Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson have 40 and 41 touchdowns, but those are total touchdowns, and they run the ball in a lot. Joe's only ran one ball in, so he has 43 touchdowns, and 42 of them he threw, which is better than his last year at LSU, where he had 40 touchdowns in season, the year that he won the Natty.
Yep. Hell of a mean mug, by
He's
the way.
playing with his goddamn hair on fire, man. Like, to get the same play next year out of Joe and Jamar, just those two, would be crazy to run this back next year, the year that the two of them are having, right?
Yep.
Man. But that's what the fuck we're going to have to do because this year it ain't going to happen because thank you, Lou.
Well, and if McPherson makes that field goal against the Ravens, if Zach doesn't go in a shell and settle for a 50-some-yard field goal, we could play this game all day, too, about how close we could have been to already having the playoffs locked up.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't lose to New England week 1.
No.
Andrew says Burrow's run in too. So, okay.
Oh,
so
yeah. He had the
we
rest
just had
of
one.
last week.
So he's total 44,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You can, if you count total, yeah. 43 or 44, 45, somewhere in around there.
Hey, maybe because the Jets are all in, Taylor. I hope Fedarian Mathis dominates. So the Jets claimed Mathis from Washington that was cut loose. A lot of people wanted us to claim him. But, hey, this could work out just as well when he goes out there and beats the Dolphins single-handedly.
Please.
And you heard it here first, Sauce Gardner to the Bengals.
Oh, give me that Bearcat.
It's confirmed.
Who was the conversation about? Was it T or Jamar?
It was about T.
T, yeah. And he's like, I need to get him to New York. And he's like, no. I wouldn't recommend that or something.
Yeah.
Like, gee, I was like, is this real?
Right.
Wait a minute. Wait, what? I didn't see this interview with Sauce. They said
It wasn't an interview. It was a tweet.
Instagram
or something.
Somebody messaged him and said something because he said something about T being a dog, and he's like, "Yeah, need to talk him into coming to the Jets." And he's like, "No, I'm not going to be doing that."
He said this right here.
I will not tell him that.
Wow.
I will not tell him that. I will not tell him to come to the Jets.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a big still. Oh, my God.
2 Ohio boys, Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson, very unhappy with being a New York Jet right now.
Who the fuck would be happy to be there? Devontae Adams is like, damn, I fucked up.
Yeah.
Devontae Adams didn't know how good he had it with the Raiders.
I know. Well, I got to tell you, next year the Raiders are probably going to get a good rookie quarterback, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, who owns the first pick now? It's the Patriots.
Right now, the Raiders are down to like pick 8.
Yeah. Right now, it is the Patriots have the number 1 pick, which they just got a quarterback last year. So I don't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
they're not.
They're going to trade back, in my opinion. They
They're
need
going to take
offensive
Travis
line
Hunter.
help.
They
need offensive line help.
You're right.
Though.
Yeah, but they need a corner. They need a corner and a receiver. Guess what?
Dude.
Travis Hunter can do.
Boom.
You get Hunter and Gonzalez together. That's the best corner tandem right there.
Yeah. I honestly see them trading back, and
I could see them trading back, but I could also, especially like the Giants to pick 4, and then they still hope they get that, or they get a lineman, or that something like that. But I'm just saying, would also even a pass rusher, Abdul Carter would be great for them at like pick 4. The trade back probably makes the most sense, honestly, for them. But if they took Travis Hunter, I wouldn't blink twice at it just because of how good he is.
right. And then I was even telling, so I got a buddy of mine that I work with who's a diehard Raiders fan, and I was telling him like, in my personal opinion, if I was them, I would go out and look for somebody like Darnold or I think Justin Fields is on his last year, somebody like that, because they've got a solid team, and I don't really trust any of these rookie QBs to come in and play QB1 right away. What do you think, Dale?
I like Cam Ward. I like Shador Sanders. I don't love them. And so they're going to be top 5 picks. I think teams will still trade up for them. I think the Giants need a quarterback really badly, and they almost have to take one of those guys. They're at pick 4 right now, but Drew Lock said, nah, forget your number 1 pick. I'm beating the Colts for the Bengals fans, and he did that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then, I don't know, man, Shador, like, he thinks he's going number 1, but now, you know, the Giants don't have that pick. And
but you
I'm
got
not
the
so sure
baggage
they
that
take
comes
him
with him.
anyways.
Could you see the Browns, even though they're stuck with Watson for 2 years, do you think the Browns could take Shador Sanders?
I don't think financially it makes sense.
I don't know, man.
Wait a
I
minute,
don't
what?
know.
Why would it not make sense financially to take a rookie quarterback?
Because they still have Deshaun Watson, and they've got to pay him for. I forgot.
Well, they fucked
what
up.
it was.
But if they want to win, they're going to need a quarterback, and a rookie's the way to go because of the money.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but I also feel like their rebuild is going to start a year early.
They could end up with the number 1 pick, by the way, too.
Yeah,
depending what happens. They're at like pick 3 right now,
and they go quarterback.
If they're picking and Ward or Sanders is there, they probably should take one of those and just hope for the best.
If they don't, like, what is this fan base gonna do? I mean, the Cleveland fan base, like,
they've
how many
dealt with
times
it
can
their
they
whole
get
lives.
smacked in the face?
They've dealt with it their whole lives. They'll deal with it even more.
Yeah, that's it. They're in a bad spot with the Watson contract, though, like Derek's saying. Like, I agree. They're just in a bad spot. T-Bowl's here with a super chat. I know inactives come out hour and a half before kickoff. If Ravens win before our game, they win the North. Does Pittsburgh rest their starters?
Sheldon Rankins is now officially on the reserve injured list.
Finally, after this long. But no, I definitely think Pittsburgh will play their starters either way because they're preparing to play their starters. And it's really hard to have that mindset and have everybody getting these practice reps all week and then just pull them right at game time.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I don't think they could do that.
Yeah.
Plus, they need momentum. They're playing like shit. Pittsburgh needs to beat us. I mean, if Pittsburgh's mindset has to be like, we need to go out and get a fucking win going into the playoffs.
And Dale, I don't know if you know this, but Jobu says he's sick of that shit kicker, fake hard ass Mike Tomlin.
He got his winning record, and then he laid down and said, I'm good.
Yeah.
Extended with my winning record. Jobu kicked the shit out of that fake ass tough guy. Jobu.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I love Jobu, man.
So what we got coming up this week in college football, Dale?
Yeah, I will want to mention this here while we're talking about, though, because Will's right. Steelers, they still have to win for seeding.
Yeah.
If they lose and the Chargers win, they have to play the Ravens instead of the Texans.
Yep.
And I don't know that they want – I mean, and maybe they don't care, but either way, I think they're playing –
They would rather play the Texans. Come on now.
They're playing for seeding.
Yeah.
I think I looked it up, and I could have sworn. Now, maybe a lot of things happened this week that changed things. But last week when I was looking into all this, I thought that if the Ravens won last week, that they pretty much locked up the division. Did they not?
Yeah, it's not about it's about seeding with the Chargers. Right. It's not about
okay. Oh, okay. I got you now.
But yeah, I mean, maybe they can't technically lock it up unless they win. I don't know for sure. Like on Tyler's original point, but I think the Steelers will play. I think they're playing their starters. I think they already said Porter's playing. They already said somebody else was playing. I think we'll preview this game more on Friday, but I think Jaylen Warren could have a big game, and Najee plays his best football against us. So we struggled against the run against Denver.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought we'd been playing better against the run, but I think we got exposed a little bit against the run right now. And I think we're going to see a heavy dose of that from the Steelers. If they're smart, they would, because even though Russ threw for 400 against us somehow last time, I think that their bread will be buttered by keeping Joe Burrow on the sidelines and running the ball and controlling the clock.
Yeah.
So it's a little tease for my thoughts for this
I
next.
hope the Ravens lose, and then that way Pittsburgh comes in thinking they can win the division. We fucking smack the fuck out of them.
Hey, I'm down
That
with
was-
that too.
That was
Because you know
Dale.
why? Fuck Pittsburgh.
Yeah. That was Dale. Just the tip moment. Brought to you
Yeah.
by, I don't know.
Foreskin.
Foreskin,
Brought to you
right.
by my foreskin.
Brought to you by Midwest Best Barbecue and Chop Shop. Proud sponsor. of
Dale
this-
Foreskin and Midwest Best Barbecue.
By the way, speaking of
Are the
Midwest
proud sponsors of Bengals and
That's
Brew.
right.
By the way, speaking of Midwest Best, shout out to them for the awesome food Sunday at the tailgate. By the way, for Project Gators, shout out to two honorees, Tryson, who goes by T, and Riley. So happy you both got to see such an awesome game. It's such a pleasure meeting both of you and your families. It was just so awesome. So glad you guys got to see an excellent win.
Yeah,
I didn't.
I watched it on TV.
Well, I was going to say, technically, I did see it
Yeah,
on TV.
I
But
saw it.
You saw it?
well. I was doing great.
let me tell you, the
Yeah, Cody Fortex
amount
can eat a
of-
bag of dicks too. I'm glad that I'm
Right.
glad we won while she was
Also-
in town having a birthday party on fucking Cody Ford's birthday.
Yeah. And Roman Suter. But go ahead.
the amount of hats thrown and curse words said when that field goal was missed was probably more than my kids needed to hear, because that was the lowest moment. That was almost like
Did
2015.
you just keep picking the same hat up?
I did. I just
You
I just
just-
threw it down, and then something would happen, and then I pick it back up. And then
You
I
said
throw
the
it down
amount of
again.
hats thrown
No,
on
I-
that missed field goal alone.
got his
Oh
hat
no,
rack,
no, I
Dale.
did.
You got
I
the whole
picked
rack
my
and
hat,
just
or I
started
grabbed my
throwing
hat,
them
and I
on
freaking hit the ground a couple times with it, and
He
then I
got
threw
all
it.
the hats out of the closet, picked them up one by one, and slammed them.
He
on.
was like, he's like, Declan, go get Daddy's hats.
Get his hat, get my hat rack.
Get the whole rack. Which one, Daddy?
Which
Get the whole
I-
rack, Declan.
I do have to give a shout out to my wife, because she was not wearing her Jamar Chase jersey, and then all of a
Hey.
sudden,
Fucking
put it
Griff's gonna
on.
like that.
and then we went off. And I will say, I was wearing my Amarius Mims jersey, so I unfortunately doomed him, and I'm sorry for that. It's
Yeah,
my
so
fault.
You stay away from that backup.
No more jerseys for me.
Don't be buying that backups jersey. I know you're thinking about it.
Right.
Wearing rubber Super Bowl hats.
College football.
Yeah.
Penn State, Boise State plays tomorrow night at 7:30. So that's the first game. There's one game tomorrow, and then there's three on New Year's Day. So one on New Year's Eve, and that is Penn State, Boise State. And honestly, if you're looking prospect-wise, it's Ashton Jeanty on Boise
Yeah.
State. I already talked Penn State, so I'm not going to dive into all those players. I can mention the names. Drew Aller, I think, is probably going back to school unless they continue winning, and he, maybe it's like, hey, I come out and I'm the number one pick. If he sees the Cleveland Browns have it, maybe he says, no, I'm definitely going back to Penn State. Nick Singleton at running back, Tyler Warren, I love at tight end, my tight end one, Abdul Carter, my edge one at edge. Zane Durant is a low-key, hasn't declared one way or the other yet on if he's returning or coming out, but that's an undersized D tackle that I think Bengals fans, if he does declare, that's a guy to keep an eye on for maybe the third round, fourth round. And then Jalen Reed at safety, but I'm not super high on him. That's a mid to late day 3 guy, in my opinion. But it's basically, as a fan and not a prospect person even, it's just Ashton Jeanty versus Penn State's defense. Can he continue this legendary season that he's having? Best since Barry Sanders, best that I've watched in my lifetime, because I wasn't watching Barry Sanders back then. So Ashton Jeanty versus that defense. Do you guys think he can keep it rolling? How do you see that game playing out? I'll ask you guys that. Boise State, Penn State tomorrow night.
I mean, we'll see, right?
That's a great answer. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll see.
I
All right,
mean-
you heard it here first. We'll see.
Yeah, he needs to finish the season if he wants to keep it up for that fucking high draft pick. I mean, if he goes out there and lays a fucking egg, is this his last game, right?
It will be. I mean, unless they win.
Yeah, it's his last game before he declares for the NFL. If he goes to the NFL, and why not after this season?
Oh, he's
You think
going. He's
gonna do it?
going. He could have came out last year. He went back to school for
gotcha.
one more.
All right, well, how much does it affect his draft stock if he gets under 100 yards?
I don't think. I mean, I think you can't put this season and be like, oh, you can't forget the rest of the season because of this
Yeah.
one game. And that's a really good Penn State defense. But I will say, like, if he goes out and has a big game, then that's his next opportunity to prove something. Really, their biggest other game was Oregon, and that's a hell of another big game to have. He
Yeah.
balled out in that game, and people
Yeah.
can always still go back to that one. But to do it against now your next biggest test of your entire season in the playoffs, yeah, if he goes out and has a big game, I think he only helps himself. I don't know that he can hurt himself too much because I think it's still positional value of running back is what's going to hurt him more than anything. I don't think that matters.
You're right.
I don't think it'll change.
Although, didn't Gibbs and what's his name for Atlanta? Didn't they go both in the first round?
Yeah,
Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs both went in the first round, right? So
yeah, Gibbs went 12th and Robinson went 5th.
Look what the fuck both of them are doing respectively for their teams too. So that, I mean, those two players right there could have bumped its draft stock up a little bit because that was not a bad choice in the first round, either one of them.
Yeah, and the Cowboys have been linked to him a lot, and they've won some games, so I don't know exactly where they're at in the draft order, but if they're around, 14, 15, if they're somewhere around 15, I think they got to be very interested in Genty if he's there. But can they afford to take another running back that early like they did with Zeke and stuff? I don't know. Jerry Jones will do whatever the hell he wants, honestly, so who knows.
Did they sign Micah Parsons yet?
No, he's not. He's not.
I mean, somebody had made a comment earlier in our chat about Micah to Cincy, and I know that he's made comments about Joe Burrow. So I don't know if there's anything in those tea leaves, but what
probably
do you guys,
not. I think he just appreciates Joe Burrow's greatness. I don't.
Well, the other thing is though, he ain't coming here on a fucking coupon.
No.
So Micah Parsons is going to want Micah Parsons money. So when he comes, that's a fucking giant chunk of the defensive money. But there's your fucking pass rush.
Hey, I do want to say something real quick before I forget it because knowing my brain, I'll end up forgetting. But shout out to there's three. It looks like there's three people in the running for this Corey Dillon jersey for the fantasy league that we did for Project Game Day. It's Houday Rob, Nuts and Bolts 23, and Big Money Marshall. Those three guys are the top three scorers right now with tonight's game left to go. So one of those three will end up with this beautiful jersey here. And also we're going to be sending some hats. One of them has to go to Santa's sack, unfortunately. He looks like he's going to snake my ass this week.
Beat your ass.
Yeah.
Took me to the cleaners.
Well, don't worry, Derek, because if I'd have fucking flipped Brock Purdy for Lamar Jackson, your ass wouldn't even been in the fucking playoff. You fucking got lucky anyway.
I did. You're right.
All right, you guys got a prediction on Penn State, Boise State?
Yeah, I'm going to take Penn State just because that's who I had on my my bracket. But I could see Boise State coming in here and, being the Cinderella story sort of.
I'm going for the fucking upset, and I'm taking Genty. I'm taking him for 255 yards. Fucking takes him to school, man. He shows what the fuck Penn State's what the fuck's up. Because I haven't watched either one of those teams. And
right.
Yeah, so
just pick. You just make
guys.
Picks.
What the fuck? I'll go Boise State.
Derek was going to take Penn State because they're white as fuck.
What the fuck? I'll go Boise State also as well.
I'll go Penn State because I just think they're a better team. It's kind of like the first week. I think the better teams are going to win a lot of these games, and I think Penn State's just too good. Their offense can struggle at times. They don't have an elite wide receiver, but they got an elite tight end. They got a very, very good running game. And Drew Aller, man, could step up and make some plays, and he's using his legs, and he can run the ball a little bit, and he hasn't done that a lot. But here in the playoffs, when everything's on the line, I expect that to continue a little more often. So I'm going to go Penn State, but I think, good luck blocking Abdul Carter also for Boise State's going to be an issue, and Abdul Carter's pretty solid against the run. I think they're going to be flying around, and they're going to give Genty some problems. I don't say he gets no 250, but I'll say he goes over 100 still just because he's going to get 30 plus carries probably again.
Oh, yeah.
They ride him hard. So, yeah, that was a little dirty.
Ride him hard, put him up wet.
Yeah, but James Franklin going to choke whoever the fuck that is.
That's true. That's the coach for Penn State, and he doesn't win a lot of big games. And I think he'll eventually choke, but it's not going to be this round. It'll be the next one. So I got Penn State winning that game. The next game is the following day at 1 o'clock. It's Texas, Arizona State. Arizona State, Cam Scatabo, another running back, great contact balance. He's not a round one. He's probably not a day two. He's probably a day three guy. But, man, he's fun, and he's a damn good player. With all that said, Texas got the horses. They're going to win, too. I got Texas beating Arizona State. Who you guys got in that one?
Texas got the cattle. Horns down.
Longhorns.
Whatever they say.
Texas against who?
Arizona State.
Arizona State. Is that Arizona State's not the one that Burfict and Jaden
Yeah.
Daniels played for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it is.
Boom, them. Because
Yep.
of Burfict and Jaden Daniels.
There you
Boom.
go.
Horns down, motherfucker. Get the fuck out.
There you go. So the next game, the one me and Derek will be paying the most attention to,
Mhm.
it's Ohio State, Oregon, and the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl. So that's pretty cool. Anyways,
The only one that matters.
and it's two really, really good ass teams. Number one, and Oregon beat them earlier in the season. Close game, came down to the wire. I'm struggling on my pick on this one, but it's if you're an NFL draft person and you want a prospect preview, it's all the positions, all the players. They're all talented enough to probably play in the NFL at some level, whether it's undrafted free agent, they're not eligible this year. They are stacked with NFL talent. So everybody, who should you watch for those two teams? Everybody. They're
Everybody.
except the Buckeyes kicker. Not gonna
No.
go. He is not
No.
gonna be in the NFL. The Buckeyes kicker.
I'll be damned. Well, he's got a
Say-
shot here.
Dale, you know what? You know my formality here. Got to go with the Ducks, man. I'm
I
a
appreciate
Ducks
that,
fan.
Greg.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
really do appreciate that, Greg.
Quack, 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 quack.
Ducks fly together.
Ducks fly together.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, you're flying
I think
solo,
we're
man,
going-
because I'm hanging with my boys here. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and root for the fucking Buckeyes because y'all too, because I love y'all. I ain't got a dog in the hunt, but I'm going to fucking go with the Buckeyes because I love y'all. The D's, the double D's. Derek
Come
and
New
Dale.
Year,
Get them
new
double
season.
D's up in here.
you know what season it is? It's duck season, baby.
OH.
OH.
Man, oh man. Ugh. I don't know who to pick, man. I don't know who to pick.
38-34 Buckeyes.
Well, now you make me feel fucking stupid if you don't pick your own
I know,
team.
I know. Basically, everything you said is making me going to have to pick the Buckeyes, but I'm really struggling with this pick. But I do like how they played last week, and I do think the defense is playing a million times better than when they played Oregon. When they played Oregon the first time, they couldn't stop them at all. And I'm not saying they get a ton of stops because that Oregon offense is spectacular, but I think they get enough stops. And I honestly think they win like 31-27. They get enough stops. It's not a crazy high scoring game, but it's a back and forth. Maybe they hold them to a couple field goals that otherwise would have been touchdowns, and the Buckeyes hold on and win 31-27. Big win in the Rose Bowl to advance and play the Texas
21-17.
Longhorns, most likely.
Yeah.
And then the final game is Notre Dame versus Georgia, Catholics versus Convicts, 2024 edition. Because it used to be Miami, Florida, but man,
Yeah.
Georgia, whew, them boys get in a lot of trouble too. They love to drive fast and furious. That's just Georgia football players, man.
Yeah.
So many wrecks, so many speeding, so many fucking reckless endangerment shit. Crazy. Catholics versus convicts, and I'm going with the Catholics. Notre Dame.
Oh,
I think they beat Gunnar Stockton. I think Gunnar Stockton may play better than Carson Beck has for most of this season. But I think with all that said, I like Notre Dame's defense. I really like Marcus Freeman, Al Golden, and what they'll plan up on defense to get enough stops. Now, I don't know if their quarterback, Riley Leonard, can do jack shit, but Xavier Watts, maybe he gets a pick six at safety for Notre Dame. Notre Dame pulls out a close, low-scoring game, 17-14. Notre Dame wins.
Yeah, I'm going with the Dogs here just because
Convicts.
they do it every single year, man. It's crazy. When it comes this time of year, they just turn it on and completely annihilate everybody. I'm gonna say this is a blowout. Surprisingly, I'm gonna go with 31-7 Georgia.
Woo.
Jesus Christ.
Man, we are way off on
That's
our
fucking
thoughts on this
crazy.
one, but hey,
Mm,
Georgia's got very good team, very good defense.
yeah.
AJ Green, Geno Atkins, two of my top favorite Bengals of all time. Got to go Bulldogs.
And unfortunately, everybody's going to say, wait, hold on. Don't let me say something stupid. Notre Dame, are they SEC this year?
Notre Dame's not in the
Notre Dame
conference,
is
which is
free
what
agent.
Taylor
Oh,
says.
that's what it is.
Till they join a conference, he'll never believe in them.
Yep. Got a
It
point.
makes sense. It's a
I
good
thought they
point.
was talking about joining the SEC, or am I wrong?
Convict music.
So that new computer doesn't have a mute button either.
I forgot
Yeah.
to press the mute button again.
Yeah, you never do, man. You just turn
never
that
do.
screen off and you sneeze, and we can all still hear it. This is
You
great.
can hear it with the new laptop I got. You can hear it a lot better, right?
Yeah.
Very
Jeremiah
good.
Love, the running back for Notre Dame. If they win, he is going to have to be clutch. He's going to have to go maybe 150 rushing yards.
I want to say the Catholics because, man, fuck the Bulldogs, man. Fuck them. Because I'm an LSU guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're
So-
like, man, they've been Big East in basketball. Kevin says they're Big Ten and hockey, so it's like everything but football, pretty much. They conference. Go ahead, Chop. Sorry.
But I'll take Notre Dame. I want to go with Notre Dame over the Dogs because fuck Georgia. I just fucking hate them.
Well, you picked all upsets, Chop.
We are a house
It's gonna be
divided.
one hell of an upsetting fucking weekend. Listen, also, just so
Pick
you
all
know, I have
upsets.
not won one bet this year, so don't pick what the fuck I picked.
Well, I mean, that would make for a fun 2 days of college football because we saw
Yep.
all favorites win and win by a lot the first week. So could we get all upsets the next week? That'd be exciting.
Boom! I called it. So,
Chop called it here first. If that happens, if every
Yeah.
underdog is in the sense of where they're ranked, because I think the Buckeyes might even be favored against Oregon, but they're the
I
8th
think
seed
they're like
and
1.5
Oregon's the
or
1 seed.
something.
Yeah, it's
Pork
coin.
Chopstradamus.
Yeah.
But
Pork
Chop is
Chopstradamus.
predicting all the lower seeds to beat all the higher seeds. So that way you can say favorite, not favorite, whatever. But
Yeah.
all the lower seeds to beat all the top seeds in all
Take
4
that
games.
parlay, and you're welcome.
Take it for like $2 though, because probably not.
$2. Take it for $2. and
I
win
will be
10.
shocked if Texas does not beat Arizona State more than any other one. Boise State maybe can play with Penn State just because Drew Aller throws 2 or 3 picks. You know, I could see that happening. Ashton Gentry runs wild. I could see that happening.
255 yards, Dale.
I wonder
Exactly. I could see that one happen. Arizona State's the one I have a hard time seeing beat Texas. And I know Quinn Ewers, man. Quinn Ewers hasn't been great. So maybe that's part of it. But Arizona State, I just can't see them hanging with Texas. Too good. Too many good players.
Real
Joki's
quick,
behind it.
I may or may not be placing that bet, Chop.
If I were you, I would.
In your honor.
Thank you.
There you go. Joe Boo
So
likes what
if we were to
best.
pick,
I have to poop really bad.
All right. Go poo.
So I love you guys, and
you.
I'll see you on Friday. Except for Greg, because he's part-time Bengals and Bruins.
I may be on Friday. You don't know me.
You might be Friday.
We'll have a guest
I
Friday,
will.
too. We'll have a guest
Huh?
Friday. Elliot from Chatterbox Sports.
Oh, yeah.
I'd ask him to hop on 15, 20 minutes. He's pretty funny. There's some pictures out there of him during the reactions of the game. So some nice photos, stills of his reactions while he was watching the game at home. And
Hell yeah.
I felt that. I was like, I feel
Mhm.
that.
real quick, the
All right, love you
underdog
guys.
parlay
Love you,
is
buddy.
plus 1,200, Chop.
There you go.
All right.
Place it.
Good odds.
So
All
if
right.
you were to bet $5, you will lose $5.
And what if you win?
If
What is it if you win?
You would win $60.
There you go on $5 bet.
Shit. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Love
Love
you. And then Will says no faith in Scatabo. Man, I do, but not that much. I mean, it's not about him. It's about that whole team. And I like Sam Levitt, their quarterback. He's like a redshirt freshman. He's very good for Arizona State. I just think Texas is too good, man. They're stacked. They have arguably the best line in college football. Like,
Yeah.
I know they've got some guys dinged up, but I think they both might play. I mean, I like Jake Majors at center. I like the tackles. They're both NFL guys. Cam Williams, Kelvin Banks, blanking on some of the guards. Oh, DJ Campbell. And then the one I like a lot, I can't even think of his name, so I'm mad at myself for that. But I do not have that anywhere. But yeah, I do. Hayden Connor. There it is. Hayden Connor is the other guard I like a lot. So I just think their offensive line and defensive line. I know a lot of people are pissed Jeremiah Smith didn't win that freshman of the year. Sean Alexander, freshman of the year, but Colin Simmons did. He's got 8 sacks. He's a beast, man. True freshman for Texas. So he's very good. And they got some prospects there too on that D line, Alfred Collins and those guys. So should be some fun matchups. Westish says he goes to Arizona State, but there is 0% chance they beat Texas. Thank you. I'm just saying. I mean, that one would shock me, and it would be fun because it'd be shocking.
Mhm.
But that'd be one hell of an upset.
A lot of upset brackets there for sure.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it's been a good show. You guys got anything else?
Nothing I can think of. I mean, we'll be doing a lot of previewing the Steelers game when we thought we would be doing some mock draft Monday today. So,
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
Friday we'll still be previewing the last game of the season. And you know what? If you'd have said that when we were 4-8, I think we'd all say, "All right, let's take it. Let's give us a shot."
I mean, how
you thought you'd be talking draft already by this time?
Well, I always am. I have
Yeah.
been. I just was.
How
But-
close, honestly, were you guys? Scale of 1 to 10, when we were 4-8, to saying fuck it and going into full draft mode.
I'm always in full draft mode.
I mean, doing mock draft Mondays, doing like,
I
talking about prospects.
You know, I'm
talking-
that type. I'm just that person that I'm like, I don't do it till it's we're mathematically out. That's just how I am.
Yeah, I was good because I know I'm gonna have months and months of talking about that on this show about the draft. So I was good on just stay in it, win some games, have some fun. But 4-8, and we still might not get in the playoffs, even though we might win 5 in a row potentially. That part kind of sucks. But hey, we did it to ourselves. You know, you can't get to 4-8. You can't be 4-8. They had so many opportunities to just win a game here or there, and we'd be sitting in a good spot for the playoffs. And instead, we're on the outside hoping for help. And, we did that to ourselves. And the defense was a big reason for that. Some bad kicks, some missed kicks by Evan.
Honestly,
poor coaching decisions, some ownership not doing enough to invest in the team to start with, though, is where I always begin.
You think about this, and I'll have to look it up to know for sure. But I mean, we're one missed field goal away from potentially being able to rest our starters this week. I don't know exactly where it would put us in the limelight of things because of the strength of schedule and all that. But I mean, 1 to 2 games away from saying, okay, we're not going to do anything more seeding wise, so let's rest up for the playoffs.
Yeah. And Joe Boo's not wrong. Joe Boo says Pittsburgh Steelers fans wipe barehanded. Just put their hand up there. I believe it. Yeah, I mean, there's so many moments, Taylor. The Tanner Hudson fumble away. There's so many. Just like how many games was it? We need one stop here. If the defense gets this one stop, because we've got the lead right now, one stop, and they could never get it.
Yeah,
the Ravens game like 10 times. There was one stop we needed. 10 times in the 2 games between that we played.
Somebody make a cut up of all the one play away things, just so I
don't want to relive it.
I just want to cry later. I could use a good cry.
But appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll be back on Friday. You guys are awesome, man. Chat was on it today. Made the show